Hi there, I'm Liz and welcome to the Sewer's Clip tutorial on how to sew a disappearing 4-patch block. This pattern is charm pack friendly and is a great baby quilt as it finishes at approximately 32 by 40 inches. We recommend using a 1/4 inch seam allowance and a 1.8 stitch length throughout this project. If you'd prefer to follow along in a paper copy, there will be a link in the description where you can download the free PDF pattern for this quilt. Let's dive in and go over the fabric requirements and the cutting for this quilt. To complete the top, you will need 1 charm pack of your favorite collection or 40 5-inch squares of print fabric, as well as 40 5-inch background squares. You can either cut these out yourself like I did, or you can purchase a charm pack of solid backing. To make the block, take 2 print fabrics from your charm pack and 2 solid background squares, and you're going to lay them out like this so that they're on opposing corners. Then you're going to put them right sides together and you're going to sew them together right here along this side, and this will make 2 rows. And then you're going to press the seams to the dark side, and then you're going to sew the rows together to create a block that looks something like this. Next, we're going to subcut our block into 9 pieces, and if you have a rotating cutting mat, now would be a great time to pull it out. Personally, I don't, so I'm just going to grab a second smaller cutting mat and just put that underneath my block. And the reason we want to do this is because we're cutting this block multiple times. We don't want the fabric to move around too much because we want our cuts to be as accurate as possible. So by putting it onto a second mat, I am able to rotate the block without actually moving the fabric. So let's get to cutting. So to cut the block, you're going to take your ruler and you're going to measure 1 inch from the right of that sewn center seam. So once you have that all lined up, just like this, take your rotary cutter and you'll cut just like that. Okay, now you have to be very careful not to move the fabric around too much, so gently lift up your ruler and you're going to rotate that mat like this. And again, from the center, you're going to measure 1 inch from the right of that sewn center seam. Just like this. Take that rotary cutter and just like that. Now you should have a total of 9 pieces. Now to make this block, there's a couple of different ways you can move the pieces around. Personally, this is my favorite method. So what we're going to do is take this left center block and swap it with the right center block. And then we're going to take the top middle block and swap it with the bottom middle block. And now we're going to sew these back together. We can either chain piece them or sew them into rows and then sew the rows together. Just make sure that when you are pressing them, they're going in opposite directions, so it'll make it very easy to nest the seams and get very sharp corners. Now, after these are all sewn together, you should have something that will look like this. Now, you'll want to trim this block down to be 8 inches square. And then you want to repeat this on the remaining 5-inch squares of fabric that you have to make a total of 20 blocks. Once you have your blocks, you can decide if you want them to all be the same direction or if you want to alternate the direction. It's really up to you how you want it to look, and it will depend a little bit on the fabric you choose as well. You're going to want to lay out 5 rows of 4 squares. Then you're going to sew those blocks together into rows. Then sew the rows together to create the quilt top, and then you're done. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you found it helpful, please hit that like button and comment any questions below. Thanks for watching!